Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today it is Thursday here on the channel, and as always, we are back picking every single week of NFL games, and we are headed into week number 6 on the schedule, and we have a 15-game slate this weekend, some very, very good games across the National Football League, and I am ready to go. So yeah, we got to pick our games. We got to do well, and hopefully we can have a really good week because we've yet to really grasp like a 13, 14 win week this year, and hopefully that week is this week. So yeah, before I get into it, if you guys do enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications for more videos exactly like this one. We do the 365 recap weekly. We do the NFL game picks weekly during the season with other videos also sprinkled in as we go. But yeah, let's get right into the weekly show. Last week, I went 9-5 in my game picks. Obviously, 4 bye weeks, only a 14-game slate. 9-5, started 9-3, lost the Sunday Night Football and the Monday Night Football game. Kind of disappointing, but we really need to grasp that top tier week, and we haven't had yet. And overall, that brings my record to 45, 32, and 1, which is pretty disappointing, to be honest with you. Not very good. We need to do better. We need a really good week. But I am 5-0 on my lock of the week, which is good. I started undefeated, 5-0 so far on my lock of the week. It's basically a survivor pool, so to speak. And I'm 2-3 now. My upsets, I was 1-3 last week. I picked Denver to beat Philadelphia, and that ended up coming to fruition and coming true. So, yeah, without further ado, let's pick some football games. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, we have an NFC East matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. The Eagles, they're coming off a loss, as I just said, to the Denver Broncos this past Sunday. A 17-3 lead in the fourth quarter was not enough for them to come away with a win. Bo Nix and Sean Payton rallied in the fourth quarter, ended up upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles in Lincoln Financial Field. As for the Giants, they're coming off a loss to the New Orleans Saints, where, quite frankly, Jackson Dart did not play well. Cam Scatterbo had a costly fumble, and the Saints defense is all over the field. I think Kool-Aid McKinstry had 2 picks last week. And it was not Jackson Dart's best showing coming off the win versus the Chargers. I kind of feel bad for the Giants in this one because obviously Saquon Barkley's coming back. I expect Saquon Barkley to have a really good game. The Eagles just need to ground and pound and get that running game going. They need to still get the passing game going. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, some weapons across the board. And the Giants really, quite frankly, just drew the Eagles at a horrible time. They're coming off a loss. They're on a short week. They can get that bad taste out of their mouth very quickly. I expect Philadelphia to win this game pretty handily. NFC East matchup, short week. Philadelphia, the defending champs, will rally. They'll get it done, and they'll rebound from a very, very bad loss last week. So they're gonna get it done. They're gonna go to 5-1, and yeah, they're gonna beat the Giants in MetLife Stadium tomorrow night to get the win. So yeah, give me the Eagles to start off the video. Coming up next, we have a London game, an international game for the third week in a row, Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. It is the Denver Broncos versus the New York Jets. The Broncos, as I just talked about, they're coming off a big win versus the Philadelphia Eagles to get their second win in a row. A really statement win, a rebound win for the Denver Broncos, which pretty much was a rocky first 4 games, so to speak. Bo Nix played well. The defense flying around. PS2 played well as usual. And Denver got it done. They look kind of like 2024 Denver in 2025. So, yeah, Denver got the win there. As for the Jets, they're your final remaining winless team in the National Football League. The final team, winless or undefeated. The last team with a 0 in their record right now. They're 0-5. They're traveling to London, Aaron Glenn and the boys to take on the Denver Broncos. I'm not gonna lie. I was heavily considering taking the Jets here. I feel like this could be a good matchup for them. I like Justin Fields' running ability against the Broncos defense. But in the end, I think the better team here will get it done. Denver, I really can't see them losing a game like this. I was thinking of picking the Jets, but I just didn't really want to lean that far. Denver, they need to go to 4-2 here. They're 3-2 right now. You want to keep the band rolling. You see the Chargers really now. The Chargers are now 3-2 after a 3-0 start. Kansas City had a big, big loss last week, or a couple days ago, frankly, against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday night. So you see those teams falling. This is a perfect opportunity for Denver to just to really get back in the AFC West race and get a big win here to go 4-2. So yeah, give me the Denver Broncos. to go to 4-2 and beat the New York Jets. And the Jets remain winless through 6 games of the NFL season. But yeah, they'll get a win eventually. Trust me, they'll get a win eventually. Water real quick. Next up, it is an interconference matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Baltimore Ravens. The Rams, they're coming off a mini bye week, so to speak. A loss last weekend on Thursday Night Football versus the San Francisco 49ers, where the 49ers were beat up. They were big underdogs, and they stormed into SoFi Stadium. Quite frankly, felt like a home game. There were so many Niners fans there, but they went into SoFi Stadium, got the win on Thursday Night Football against Matthew Stafford and the Rams, where Stafford had a really good game. Kyren Williams had a key fumble and an overtime win for the 49ers, where a game that felt good for the 49ers. The Rams didn't quite frankly play bad, but in the end, San Francisco got it done. As for the Ravens, they're now 1-4, a record that nobody would have thought that the Baltimore Ravens would have at this point in the season. I picked the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl, but obviously right now it's Cooper Rush starting for them. Still no Lamar Jackson this week, most likely. Did not practice today as we speak. It's Wednesday, but this will go up tomorrow. He did not practice today. He probably won't practice tomorrow. So it's in line to be Cooper Rush for the second straight week. And without Lamar Jackson, I don't think there's a chance the Baltimore Ravens win this game. They got blown out by the Houston Texans last purple. They got blown out by the Houston Texans last week, 44-10. CJ Stroud diced them up. The Baltimore Ravens defense is arguably the worst in the NFL right now. They're allowing points across the board. And if this really comes true, a 1-5 record for the Baltimore Ravens going into the bye week is going to be tough to crawl out of, though they have a very easy schedule past the bye week. A lot of people are speculating that they could make a comeback from it. On the sports books, they're still favored to win the AFC North, which is pretty shocking, to be honest with you. But yeah, I expect the Rams to win this game very handedly. They need a rebound win, and I expect Matthew Stafford to play very well and get the win over the Ravens to go to 4-2. Next up, we have a pretty intriguing game in Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. It is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers. The Cowboys, they're now at 500. They're 2-2-1 versus through 5 weeks. Getting a big win last week against the New York Jets. Dak Prescott played well. George Pickens played well. Jake Ferguson is playing very well. He's playing like a top 10 tight end in the National Football League right now. And for the Panthers, they're 2-3 right now. They are undefeated on home turf. That's a big factor of taking when picking this game. Bryce Young is undefeated on home turf, beating the Atlanta Falcons a few weeks back and beating the Miami Dolphins that come from behind win last week. This is another one. Interesting quarterback matchup. Dak Prescott, Bryce Young, Brian Schottenheimer, Dave Canales. Who will come out of this game with a win? Carolina Panthers running back Rico Dowdle, former Dallas Cowboy last year, rushed for 206 yards last week against the Miami Dolphins. Will he have another big performance like that against his former team? We'll see. Dallas's defense is pretty weak, so I think it could be a matchup to exploit for the Panthers, and I think that they could lean on him to win this game. But in the end, I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys. That's 4 straight road teams, or technically road teams, but this game's an alternate site game. But that's I think Dallas is gonna win this game. I like what Dak Prescott's doing right now. I do. If the Dallas Cowboys were better, quite frankly, because they're not a top of the tier team, the Eagles are still clearly better in my opinion, and I think the Washington Commanders are still very better in that division. Dak Prescott will be an MVP candidate. He's playing that well. No CeeDee Lamb in the fold right now, and he's still playing amazing with just George Pickens, Ryan Flournoy having a 100-yard game last week. I mean, Jalen Tolbert, Cavonte Turpin isn't even playing right now, I think, but yeah, Javonte Williams having a little bit of a revive season to his career after a couple rocky years and his end of his Denver tenure. But yeah, I'm gonna take Cowboys here to get their second straight win and go to 3-2-1. So yeah, give me Dallas. Next up, it is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Indianapolis Colts in Lucas Oil Stadium. The Cardinals, they're coming off a loss last week and 2 straight losses. A loss last week to the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans picked up their first win of the season against the Cardinals last week. Everybody knows the story. Amari DiMercado dropped the ball before the goal line. They fumbled the interception of Cam Ward. They picked him off, then fumbled it. Titans scored in the end zone. It was just a disastrous collapse for Jonathan Gannon and the Arizona Cardinals. And quite frankly, I was so wrong about the Arizona Cardinals. I thought they were about to be a wild card team this season. I thought they were going to be a 9-10 win team. Kyler Murray's not living up to what I thought this could be. I think this could be his last year in Arizona if it keeps going like this. I think it's definitely Jonathan Gannon's last year in Arizona if it keeps going like this. Everybody saw the altercation on the sideline with him and DeMercado. He apologized. He got fined $100,000 from the team. It's not looking good in Arizona right now. As for the Indianapolis Colts, couldn't look any better for them right now. Only loss being a thriller versus the Los Angeles Rams a few weeks back. Their defense is playing very well with Louis Anarumo. Shane Steichen's looking like the front runner for the coach of the year through a few weeks. Nobody expected them to be like this. Daniel Jones is playing well. Jonathan Taylor, I believe, is leading the league in touchdowns. If not, he's top three. This game's at home for the Colts, and I expect them to get it done. I never thought I'd be saying this at this point in the year, but this is a team the Colts are clearly better than right now. And if they win this game, the Indianapolis Colts are going to be 5-1. It's pretty crazy to say that, but this game features Jonathan Gannon versus Shane Steichen, two former Eagles assistants when they went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, the first one that they lost. But yeah, I'm picking the Colts at home in this game, and I expect them to go to 5-1 and lead the AFC. It's insane to say at this point in the year, but Daniel Jones is playing great. So give me the Colts in this game to get it done and go to 5-1. Next up, we have a very interesting matchup, quite frankly. It is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Seahawks, they're coming off a loss last week in a pretty intriguing game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield ends up winning the game in the end. Sam Darnold throws a costly interception to Lavonte David. Seattle escapes with a loss. Very intriguing uniform matchup last week, but Seattle fell to 3-2. But I mean, you can only say good things about Sam Darnold right now. He's playing very well. He's looking like he's carrying over that momentum from last year in Minnesota, bringing it to Seattle, Clint Kubiak, and they look good. They look good, 3-2. They look very good. They're right in the thick of things in the NFC West. As for the Jaguars, same thing over there. They're looking very good as well. They're 4-1 right now. Their only loss being Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals. That's crazy to come out of my mouth. But Liam Cohen, another guy similar to Shane Steichen, same division. He's looking like one of the front runners for Coach of the Year as well. First year head coach. He started the season 4-1 with a statement win in Jacksonville on Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the best wins for them in years, probably since that playoff win a couple of years ago. The best win the Jacksonville Jaguars have had. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, everybody saw the stumble touchdown and all that, but a great win for Liam Cohen and the boys. To be honest with you, I'm picking against them here. I'm picking another road team this week. I like Seattle here. I do. I think 3-2. They're coming off a bad loss last week against Tampa Bay, a game that, quite frankly, they could have won. And I like to see Mike McDonald and the crew rebound here. I think they're going to rebound. I think Sam Darnold's playing well. I think the running back tandem with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet can do enough to win this game. And I think Jacksonville eventually has to come back down to earth. I can't see them going to 5-1. If Indianapolis and Jacksonville both went to 5-1, it would be pretty insane. But Jacksonville playing this game in Jacksonville is a pretty big boost for people to make a case for them to win this game. But in this game, I'm going to side with Sam Darnold here. I'm going to side with the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're going to go to 4-2 and get the win in Jacksonville, and also drop Jacksonville to 4-2 as well. While at it, so yeah, give me the Seattle Seahawks to win the game in Jacksonville. Next up, we have a battle of the 2020 quarterback class. It is the Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers versus Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. The Chargers, they're coming off two straight losses now, not a beatdown, but a pretty considerably bad loss against the Washington Commanders last week in Jaden Daniels' first game back. Now two straight losses to NFC East teams for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I don't see many people on social media talking about it, but Justin Herbert did not play well at all last week. The running backs for the Chargers in this game, they now lost Omarion Hampton. He went to IR. He's done for 4 games at least. Najee Harris is done for the season. Obviously, former Pittsburgh Steeler, didn't play many games with the Chargers, but he's done for the year. It's Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins. That's the running back room for the Chargers right now. Ladd McConkey caught a touchdown last week, his first of the season, but this is the type of game where Ladd McConkey needs to show up. Keenan Allen's been having a pretty good rebound season with the Chargers, and they're going to Miami. We're coming off a loss last week to the Carolina Panthers where they led 17-0. Got to admit, Darren Waller's playing well. Jalen Waddle's playing well. They just didn't do enough. Rico Dowdle pounded that defense through the ground last week as Carolina escaped to the win. But I think this will be a very close game. I think both these teams will score a lot of points. I think Chargers will put up 20. I think Miami will put up 20 plus. I like Darren Waller in this matchup. I like every single receiver in this matchup, Chargers and Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins, a little bit of a risky pick this week. We like to take big swings here. It's probably why I'm 45, 32, and 1 this year, but I'm taking the home team. A little bit of an upset pick, not a huge upset, it being in Miami, but at this point, Mike McDaniel's coaching for his job. If it keeps going with the losses that Miami's taken, it's only a matter of weeks before he's end up kicking the curb and on the chopping block to be fired by Stephen Ross. Um, this is a game I just think Miami sneaks in here. They get a win. I think Tua plays considerably well. I think Devon Achane plays well in this game, and I think Miami's going to get it done against the Chargers and drop the Chargers to 3-3. And they go for, if this happens, they go from 3-0 to 3-3 like this. So it's pretty crazy. So I'm going to take the Dolphins this game to get the win and a little bit of an upset over the Los Angeles Chargers. Next up, it is an AFC North matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Browns, they're coming off a loss in London last weekend. Dylan Gabriel's first start against the Minnesota Vikings. Carson Wentz to Jordan Addison with like 40 seconds left in the game or something like that. The Vikings take the lead and get the win overseas to defeat the Cleveland Browns. They're now 1-4. They're traveling to Pittsburgh, who are fresh and well rested coming off the bye. They're 3-1 right now. Aaron Rodgers, 41 years old. Early bye week. An early bye week's very interesting for the Steelers, but at home at Acrisure Stadium, this is a game the Steelers should be able to win against a division rival, against a team they're clearly better than. Very young quarterback versus very old quarterback. I'm going to take the more experienced quarterback. I'm going to take the more experienced team, and I'm going to take the more experienced head coach and the Pittsburgh Steelers to win. What is it? Their third in a row now at this point with this win because they lost Seattle week 2, correct? Yeah. So this would be the third. This would be the third win in a row at this point. I expect them to win this game. I just do not believe in Cleveland that much. I think Myles Garrett could wreck this game, but Jalen Warren should be back coming off the bye. Kenneth Gainwell played very well in Ireland before the bye with the win over Minnesota. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Pittsburgh Steelers here, and I think they're gonna get the win. So yeah. Next up, we have the New England Patriots at the New Orleans Saints. The Patriots, they're coming off one of their best wins in years, probably since the Brady era, where they defeated the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park on Sunday Night Football. Drake May was stellar, though he didn't throw any touchdowns. He didn't throw any interceptions. He made plays out of the pocket. He made plays rolling out of the pocket. Stephon Diggs had a statement game, 100 plus yards for him. Ramondre Stevenson, 2 touchdowns after the fumble in the first quarter. And the Patriots cruised with a 23-20 win over Josh Allen, and Drake May was very good. As for the Saints, I'm not going to lie. They've showed me a lot of promises 2 weeks. I was a huge, huge, huge Saints hater going into the season. I said many times on this channel in my predictions, I thought Kellen Moore would be one and done as head coach, but he went toe to toe with the Buffalo Bills a few weeks ago, and he just beat the New York Giants last week with Kool-Aid McKinstry having 2 interceptions, defense playing very well. They scored a touchdown at one point. You got to give it to him. And I think this will be a very close game. Don't get me wrong. I think this will be a very competitive game, but I gotta take the team. I gotta take the favorite here. I gotta take the favorite. And though I think this will be very tough, the Saints are playing teams tough right now. They are. This game being in the Superdome, I think Alvin Kamara will make a lot of plays on the backfield here versus Patriots defense. Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave versus Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis will be a very interesting matchup, but I'm gonna take New England. I really, really, really want to take the Saints in this game. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to take the Saints, but I'm gonna side with New England here. I think they're gonna win this game. They're just the better team here. I got to think in my brain. The New England Patriots are the better team in this matchup. They have to get this win here. They're going to go to 4-2. They cannot lose to the New Orleans Saints on the road after beating the Buffalo Bills on the road the week prior, but I expect them to get this win. They're going to win the game and go to 4-2 on the season. And yeah. Next up, we start the 4 o'clock window. We have 3 games in the 4 o'clock window this week. It is a pretty mid matchup, but who knows? Could be a pretty split game picking wise. It is the Tennessee Titans versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Titans, They got their first win of the season last week. Cam Ward come from behind winning against the Arizona Cardinals in the huge debacle I talked about before. Demercado dropping the ball before the goal line. Brian Callahan keeps his job for at least another week, and they're traveling to Allegiant Stadium to take on the Las Vegas Raiders, where they lost four in a row. They've lost four in a row. Geno Smith has been bad. He's leading the league in interceptions. But who knows? This game's at home. This could be a rebound game for them. Pete Carroll, he's not done a great job so far. Ashton Genty against the Bears, he had a pretty good game. Wasn't great last week. No Brock Bowers practicing today as we speak on Wednesday. No Brock Bowers, so he could be in line to miss another game. I'm still going to take the Raiders. At home, I think this is a game that Pete Carroll, this is the type of game that I think Pete Carroll wins. I just do. I just do. I think Ashton Genty will have a big game here against the Titans run defense. I think he'll be one of the players that's able to break this game open, and I think this will be his best game of the season. Without Brock Bowers, they're going to be running this ball through the ground. Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker need to get involved and catching passes. And yeah, I think Max Crosby versus the Titans O-line will be a big, big mismatch. And yeah, giving the Raiders in this game to get their second win of the season and snap a four-game losing streak. Next up, we have a very good NFC matchup at 425. Nance and Romo on the call for this one. It is the 49ers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Raymond James Stadium. The Niners, they're 4-1 right now. Somehow Mac Jones played a very good game last week on Thursday night against the Los Angeles Rams. Kendrick Bourne was balling out. Christian McCaffrey catching passes as always. And the Buccaneers, they're also 4-1. Their only loss being the defending Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles, a few weeks back. Baker Mayfield, another guy similar to Dak Prescott. He's in that MVP conversation right now. He's playing that well. He is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, man. Since he's left Cleveland, I've been a huge fan of him, and he's really revived his career in Tampa Bay and becoming one of the really top 12, top 10 quarterbacks in the league. He's playing that well. I think this game being in Tampa Bay will be a huge boost for the Buccaneers. Keep in mind, no George Kittle in this game. No Bucky Irving in this game, though Rachaad White did play very well last week. Um, Emeka Ibuka in line for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it's not really close right now. No Mike Evans still. Chris Godwin needs to get more involved. I mean, this is interesting because this is a tough game to pick, though I think Tampa being at home will give them an edge here. If Brock Purdy doesn't play, I mean, Brock Purdy's probably not going to play again. It's probably going to be Mac Jones again. That's what people are saying. And is that better for the Niners or worse? People are saying Kubi controversy in San Francisco. Who knows this, that? Does Brock Purdy get sat? Who knows? But with how injured the Niners are right now, coming off a big win like that, I just think Tampa Bay at home here is a better football team than a more healthy football team right now. And I expect them to get this win. This is a game they should win at home, but it will be a very good game. So 4-1 versus 4-1 could come in very key in the NFC at the end of the year. So give me Tampa Bay in that game to win it, but I think it'll be a good game. Next up, Joseph Flacco versus Jordan Love in Lambeau Field in the year of 2025. I know it feels crazy to say, but that's where we're at right now in the Cincinnati Bengals versus fandom, where we stand in the Bengals fandom. But I'm excited. It's something new than Jake Browning. At least the Bengals went out and got somebody, but you all know the drill. It is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. The Bengals, Joe Flacco's our quarterback now. 40-year-old Joe Flacco. I talked about on the 365 recap on Tuesday. I'm pumped to see something new. I think hopefully he can keep the Bengals afloat. Did not play very well early in the season with Cleveland. Ended up getting benched in favor of Dylan Gabriel. Um, but he's had a full week of film against the Green Bay Packers earlier in the year, as he's the only quarterback, or he beat the Green Bay Packers earlier in the year. It's his only win of the season, but I'm excited. And the Packers, they're coming off a bye week. They're well rested. They're 2-1-1 right now. Their last time out in a 40-40 tie versus the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. You know what? You know what getting Joe Flacco does? It gives you a spark in the locker room. Your two wide receiver ones that you paid so much money, they're gonna get more involved. They're gonna play better. And I don't care. You know what? Maybe I am biased. My pick'em season, I'm 45 and 32 right now. I'm 45, 32 and 1. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals, baby. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals. If you thought for a chance that I'm not riding with my team this week, you're wrong. I don't know if they're going to win this game, but I think getting Joe Flacco can give you a bolt like that in the locker. I do. Obviously, they're still big underdogs here. Green Bay is clearly the better team, but after three straight losses, I want to see a spark out of the Cincinnati Bengals. And you know what? I'm picking them this week. I might be very wrong on this, and it might kill my week. Whatever. Give me the Bengals. Who Dey, baby. Hopefully, but yeah. And then on Sunday Night Football, we have a pretty good matchup. Rematch of opening night a few years back. It is the Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Lions, they're coming off a win versus those Cincinnati Bengals not a few weeks back, last week, where Jared Goff was good. Bengals defense played all right. But in the end, Jake Browning gave them enough turnovers, and they played well enough to win the game. Detroit's looking like one of the best teams in the National Football League right now, four straight wins after the loss to Green Bay on opening day, and they're looking very good right now. They're traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, who are coming off not a bad loss, but a loss. Where they're now 2-3. They're below 500 right now, losing a game after starting 0-2. Now you're 2-2. Now you're 2-3. This is a big game for the Kansas City Chiefs. If the Kansas City Chiefs go into this game, they see the Denver Broncos win. If they lose this game, it's looking a little panicky. This game in Arrowhead Stadium, I think, is a big advantage for the Chiefs' standpoint of things. And I think I'm going to take them here. I'm going to take them here. I haven't picked against Kansas City all season. I was looking at my game picks from the past few weeks earlier today, and I haven't picked against Kansas City Chiefs all season. I picked them all 5 times, and obviously they're 2-3 right now, so I'm 2-3 in those games. I don't know. I think being in Arrowhead Stadium gives them a big boost here. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, everybody in that locker room knows that if they drop to 2-4, it's going to be very, very tough. 2-4 is not a good spot to be at. We'll never count out the Chiefs as an NFL fans. We'll never count out the Chiefs. Goodell loves them too much. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, box office, all that. We'll never be able to count out the Chiefs. But I think everybody in that locker room knows how important this game is. Whole nation's watching Sunday Night Football. Chris Collinsworth on the call for Mahomes game. Should be glazing all night. I'm going to take them in this game to beat the Detroit Lions. But yeah, give me Kansas City, I guess. Next up, we have game one of a Monday Night Football doubleheader between the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. The Bills, they're coming off their first loss of the season. They were the last remaining undefeated team. And on Sunday Night Football, Drake May went into Orchard Park and won in a Buffalo Bills whiteout. They're now 4-1. Josh Allen was all right, threw a big interception to Marcus Jones, but Buffalo, that's a block in the road. They're right there. They're traveling to Atlanta, who is well rested. They're coming off the bye week. Drake London, last time we saw them, he played very well against the Washington Commanders. Michael Penix Jr. got a big rebound win versus Marcus Mariota and the crew there. And they're 2-2. They're sitting at 500 right now, week 6, going or coming out of the bye. They have an early bye week, obviously, in week 5. But yeah, not gonna lie. If I saw the Buffalo Bills win last week at 5-0, I might have picked the Atlanta Falcons here. I see the Atlanta Falcons, they're 2-2. They're well rested. They're coming off a win. They've had 2 full weeks to game plan for this game. Everybody watched Sunday Night Football last week. If the Bills won that game, I might win with Atlanta. Though the Bills lost that game, I'm taking Buffalo. The reason being, I can't see them losing 2 games in a row. They see New England creeping up. You see New England win earlier, or on Sunday in this case. You see New England win, they're going to go to 4-2 if they win this game versus the Saints. Buffalo, they would drop to 4-2 as well. Both teams would be 4-2. New England Patriots have a head-to-head. They take the lead in the AFC East right now. I think this is a big game for the Buffalo Bills to win at this point. I just think Josh Allen's going to get it done. I think Bijan Robinson will do some work against the Bills defense, but in the end, give me Buffalo to win this game and go to 5-1. And to finish off the week, it's a rematch of the Jaden Daniels to Noah Brown Hail Mary last week in Landover. And this time it's Monday Night Football. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, 2024 draft, number one versus number two. It's a rematch between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. The Bears, similar to Atlanta, they're coming off the bye. They're well rested. The last time we saw them was versus the Las Vegas Raiders, where they blocked a big kick, went to 2-2, got an insurmountably big win, where Ashton Genty and Max Crosby tore them apart. But in the end, Caleb Williams' game-winning drive got it done and beat Washington. For Washington, they're coming off a big win versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Shut down Justin Herbert, Bill Krosky Merritt, 2 touchdowns last week. Jaden Daniels was all right in his return, and he's only going to get more healthy and better since his second game back. I read something online today. The Washington Commanders are on like national television, not national, but they have the 425 Fox very soon. They have some national television games and some games that a lot of people are going to watch very, very soon. So we're going to be seeing a lot of the Washington Commanders on national television over the next few weeks with Jaden Daniels. So I'm going to take them here. I think they're going to win the rematch of the Hail Mary game. I don't think it will be as dramatic as it was last season with Tyreek Stevenson and all that, but is Tyreek Stevenson? Tyreek Stevenson. Yeah, I'm bugging, but yeah. Jane Daniels, Noah Brown, Tyreek Stevenson showboating the crowd, and I think Washington wins it again. They go to 4-2. Chicago goes to 2-3 off the bye, and Washington gets it done to improve their record. And yeah, those are the game picks with my lock being the Rams over the Ravens and the upset being my Bengals over Green Bay. I really don't have any reasoning for picking the Bengals this week, but we're going with them all right. I'm riding with my guys this week. Never thought I'd be picking a lock over the Baltimore Ravens at this point in the year either, but here we are. It's football, it's crazy, so yeah, give me the Rams is my lock, Bengals is my upset. To recap the picks: Philly, Denver, Los Angeles Rams, Dallas, Indianapolis, Seattle, Miami, Pittsburgh, New England, Las Vegas, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Buffalo, and Washington. And yeah, those are the game picks for this week. And now let's go over the power rankings real quick before we log off. So yeah, here are my week 6 power rankings. And here are the week 6 power rankings here on the channel. Number one being the Detroit Lions coming off the Bengals win last week. They've won 4 in a row. They're the hottest team in the National Football League, no doubt about it. And they improved to number one, going up 2 spots, followed by the Philadelphia Eagles coming off their first loss of the season. Tampa Bay, Buffalo, San Francisco going up 13 spots with a huge win on Thursday Night Football. Injured team against the Rams. Rams go down 2 spots. They have to be below the Niners. Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Green Bay down 3 spots on the bye. I don't like moving teams too much on the bye, but this week there was just so much movement and upsets that happened across the NFL. I had to do that. Seattle doesn't move. Denver goes up 1. Washington goes up 3. New England improves 7 spots from number 20 last week. Obviously, huge win for the franchise over Buffalo. Pittsburgh down 1 on the bye week. Kansas City down 10 with the loss over Jacksonville. I mean, I can't justify putting them above any of these teams record wise and how hot they are across the league. So, Chargers down 5. Dallas at 17. Texans at 18. Blowout win over the Ravens. They're at number 18. Atlanta again. I know they were on the bye week, but there was so much movement across the NFL. I didn't want to put them down this low, but they decreased 5 spots. Minnesota, Chicago doesn't move. Carolina, Baltimore goes down 1 spot. They're 23 now. New Orleans goes up 7 spots with the win over the Giants. I was very encouraged by their defense. Arizona down 6. Giants, Browns, Dolphins, Titans go up 3 spots. Their first win of the season. Bengals don't move at number 30. But if my picks come to fruition, they beat the Green Bay Packers. I hope they skyrocket. So it'll be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm going to the whiteout game against Pittsburgh next week. So I'll have to record the Pick'em episode in very advance because I won't be here next Thursday. Raiders and then the Jets, who are the final remaining winless team in the National Football League. And yeah, those are this week's power rankings. Those are this week's game picks. As I say every single week when I log off this thing, Let's have a week. Let's kill it in game picks. Let's have a very fun weekend of football, college football. I got a 4-day weekend coming up. We got Thursday night football. Eagles, Giants, very, very, very intriguing NFC East rivalry. Barkley, obviously, going back to MetLife Stadium for the second time. Should be a very, very interesting weekend of football. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, please like, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to gain more subscribers on the channel here and turn on post notifications for more videos exactly like this one. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great night. Have a great football watching experience. I'll see y'all next time. Later.